in camp. All right. As we move towards the season, we're getting closer and closer. We're doing defense now. We've been doing top 10 lists for a lot of the players in the NFL. And now we're doing the interior, the big guys. Now, this is the strength of our team, the Ravens, but looking around the league, how the interior lineman has kind of changed over the years. Where, to mention the old school Ravens, one of the greatest defenses of all time, 2000, you had Sam Adams and a Tony Siragusa. All right. So they kept their hands off of anybody. Ray Lewis, you couldn't run the ball because Ray Lewis was free to the football, right? The big interior guy. Developed now. The lines have changed. Teams now playing less linemen, playing less linebackers, whatever. You're seeing more of these guys now, pass rush guys, right? They're integral parts of pass rush. So it's not just the guys on the edge where they're setting up outside guys to go ahead and get snaps. You're getting guys from the inside being very much so important parts of pass rush. So keep that in mind as well. So who are the top 10 guys in the NFL as far as on the interior defensive line? This is a bit of a projection, but man, watching him in college, I'm telling you, this was probably circumstances had been different. This would be the number one pick in the NFL draft last season. Jaylen Carter, I think, is terrific as well. I think definitely ascended better as the season went on with the Eagles. Eagles defense had some issues, but I think playing more Jaylen Carter is absolutely going to help. I absolutely think he's going to be in the top 10. His size, and what do we talk about? Evolution. Not just a guy who can stop the run. He certainly can do that. But pass rush, get in the backfield, wreak havoc, move the feet of the quarterback, and all that stuff. Jaylen Carter, athletic freakazoid. Definitely Aaron Donald-like potential with Jaylen Carter. That good. Still a little raw yet, but definitely can get there. Brenston Buckner for the Colts. I've kind of overlooked him. This is a guy who's been really good for a long time. Definitely started his career with the 49ers. Definitely a difference maker with the Colts as well. So the Colts defense, everybody knows how I feel about the Colts. Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay are incredibly annoying. There's a lot of people like the Colts, so I would say that the Colts defense is really good as well. They definitely have good interior guys, good linebackers. Definitely can say that. So definitely they're good inside as well. They need some pass rush, but this is, I think, the best pass rusher inside. Brenston Buckner, not the biggest guy, but definitely better on a four-man line, but exceedingly quick off the ball. Like, definitely it's hard for like guards especially to get their hands up with Brenston Buckner because he's so quick off the ball. That's a strength for him. Ed Oliver, this is more reverting back to the running guy here. Ed Oliver, big guy here for the Bills. Bills lost a lot on defense. I think one of the better guys now is Ed Oliver. He's been solid for the last couple years for them. They have been a good defense. They're not as, I think they should use him more stopping the run. I think like he's almost kind of, as good as I think he is, almost kind of misused. Hardly talked about it, but this guy is solid inside running the ball. You look at his win rate and everything like that. Definitely, to me, I think he's one of the better ones in the league. I love Ed Oliver on the inside. Definitely now more important to the Bills. Now, a lot of those guys are gone. Poyer, Hyde, a lot of those guys gone. Miller past his prime, etc. Ed Oliver, time is to go ahead and step up. Wearing the Dolphins jersey now with the Raiders, Christian Wilkins, I think, definitely massively upgrades the Raiders defense here. Look, playing him with Max Crosby, good luck with that. Here's a guy, again, does several different things, not just one thing, not just a run stopper, not just guy makes an impact on a football game. He runs surprisingly well too, kind of like that, kind of like that. He's higher than Buckner because Buckner, he's almost undersized. Well, this guy is bigger and can do a lot of those same things. Very just quick off the ball, hands up, really quick. disrupt you in the pass rush. Hasn't had a 15, 16 sack season, but definitely I can absolutely see it for Christian Wilkinson now with the Raiders. Man, you might not know Derek Brown. Derek Brown was terrific last year for the Carolina Panthers as well. So again, here's another guy. Now, no Brian Burns there for Carolina. Let's see how he does now that he's going to be the focal point. He clearly is for the defense. When teams are lining up, you're going to be watching Derek Brown. He's a guy that absolutely have to double team him. He's not going to get one guy or one guard or whatever like that. He's going to get double teamed all season around, especially now. But he's definitely a complete guy. Not, he's a good pass rusher. He's a good run stuffer. He's good in cover. He does a lot of things very, very well. He's one of these guys you kind of look up. It's like, dang, go on. You felt like you should have did better against him. He doesn't always blow your eyeballs off the screen, but definitely very, very solid all the way around. Jeffrey Simmons for the Titans as well. The Titans for years have always done two things well. Stop the run, run the football. That has not changed. Jeffrey Simmons has been a guy. This is a team for years and years, a good history of good defensive tackles. This has been a strength, and this is one of them right here. Jeffrey Simmons, I think, is definitely probably underrated, definitely because he's on a Titans team that hasn't been real good. So I think that's some of the reason why he's been underrated. But Jeffrey Simmons is terrific. I think he's definitely one of the better top 5. Possible he could be higher by the end of you never know, but I think Jeffrey Simmons is absolutely fantastic. Our guy, Manuk, 25 million, 25. Justin Manuk. Manuk, I think this might be the best pass rusher inside in the NFL. I don't think there's the reason he isn't higher is he's still, to be fair, a bit of a one-year wonder. He was good before last year, but he really was just unblockable going into his 4th year. Really was terrific. So now he's got a lot of money. He's been great in camp so far, but that's the only reason I think I have him high. Don't have him higher is for because the resume isn't quite there yet, like over a long period, even though he was great last year. But as far as like blocking him on the pass rush, there may not be a better one than Justin Manuk in the NFL. I think I have him at number 4. Here's one that is good. Somebody would say Justin Manuk is, you might say Dexter Lawrence is. Dexter Lawrence, I think, is the straw that stirs the drink on the Giants defense, whatever that is. This is not a very good defense he's on, I would say. So, but I think there's possibly the thing that's not having him in 1 because he has to do so much for them. But he's an excellent pass rusher, I think, for the inside. I think he is a very, very good run stopper, definitely. So you're not going to run the ball and run it straight at Dexter Lawrence and think you're going to get 4 or 5. No. He's going to shut you down. Great hands. These 2 and 3, I love their hand work. I love the way they put their hands on offensive linemen as well. I really am a big fan of Dexter Lawrence, considering the circumstances he's in. Quincy Williams, I think now he is a guy on a great defense. Quincy Williams with the Jets. Definitely a guy, he doesn't have to carry the load nearly as much, but pass rush is outstanding for this guy. Hands outstanding. Him and Lawrence, their hands is part of why. As good as athletes as they are, but they're so dominant because they're also so fundamentally sound with everything they do. I think Quincy Williams, is one of the better defensive linemen in the league. I think definitely you could 1, 2, and 3. You're really splitting hairs, But I definitely like Quincy Williams. I think I have him at 2. But got to go with Chris Jones in the number 1 spot. Look, Chiefs won the Super Bowl not because of Mahomes and Kelsey, and you could talk about that, but Steve Spagnuolo and their defense, and the defense that was led by this guy, Chris Jones, I think was terrific last year. Anytime you can take the place of a great Aaron Donald, a guy who I think is one of the top players of all time, Chris Jones, I think, is incredibly underrated. This guy, even on a good defense, I mean, you would see games with Chris Jones. He's making an impact with triple teams. That's what you see when you see a great player. When you scheme to take him out and you can't, right? You could scheme to take out Chris Jones. You can put three guys on him, and he's still in your backfield, still getting double-digit sacks, still making other guys around him better. That's Chris Jones. I think I have him at number one. The only negative, maybe he's starting on the wrong side of 30, but I didn't see any slowing down with him. So outstanding stuff. Chris Jones, number one. Defensive tackle, interior, offensive line. Did include also too defensive ends in like a 3-4 scheme, things like that. That's pretty much an interior. I'll call that interior. If you're running like a 4 linebackers and 3 ends, I pretty much called that this year. Okay, interior guy, not just 2 technique, 3 technique. So essentially the same. So Chris Jones is there for that. There you go. So the top 10 offensive linemen. Next week, we're going to go to linebacker. Who are the top 10 linebackers in the league? Not just inside linebacker, but also to teams that are running a 4-3 linebackers on the outside, the non-pass rush, edge rush types. We're going to talk about that next week.